What's going on, guys? Shane here. Today we're going to be talking about 5 common mistakes to avoid when throwing the elbow strike. Now I know there's tons of different variations. There's spinning elbows, there's flying elbows. I just want to talk about 5 general rules to follow when you're throwing the elbow strike. Alright, so the first one is hitting with the forearm and not the elbow. The elbow is very sharp and very strong. You do want to hit with the actual tip of your elbow. Cut your opponents open. If you're hitting with the forearm, it's much softer. You're not as likely to cut them. Yes, you can still do damage. You still can knock someone out. But if you're throwing an elbow strike, then throw an elbow strike. Look to cut them. You're going to aim for the cheeks, the nose, the eyes, or the eyebrows, okay? Boom, 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 up elbows. You got back elbows. Either way, you still want to try to hit in that vicinity of the tip of your elbow. The next one is throwing it from too far away. It's one of the shortest range attacks that you have. If you're fighting a jabber, if you're fighting someone who likes throwing from push kicks and you're trying to throw elbows without any good footwork or getting on the inside, you're not going to be successful, all right? So you need to figure out ways to get on the inside. Do it from the clinch. Do it when their back's up against the wall, or cover the distance with fakes and get your way in to land those elbows. The next one is no defense when you throw it, right? People will just throw an elbow like this. If I'm in elbow range, so is my opponent. When you do it, you want to get in the habit of going palm out on the forehead or palm in. So either way, you're protecting your face when you throw it. So here. Okay? It's a very good habit to get into to make sure that you're protecting yourself when throwing elbows. The next one, when you're throwing elbow strikes, don't get too fancy with it. Now with Gaston Bolanos, everyone wants to throw a spinning back elbow, right? Before him, probably the best was Samart Paya Karun. If you don't know how to jab, if you don't know how to teep, don't be throwing spinning back elbows yet, all right? Especially if you're an amateur, you should definitely practice them, you know, even though you can't use them in competition, know how to do them, and then refrain from using them until you're pro or using them in a street fight. So don't go into these crazy flying Superman elbows and spinning elbows and double elbows if you don't know how to throw basic attacks first. Take your time, baby steps. And then the last one is create the angle. If I'm throwing an elbow against someone that has a perfect guard like this, and it's a horizontal elbow, what am I gonna hit? Their forearms, right? If I go like this. But if I create an angle to the point where you see this, you can come right in between here. How do I do that? Step out to the left if you're throwing a left elbow, right? I go here, and it snakes right past their guard. My forearm, my wrist is at their wrist, and it snakes in between that spot that you can see right here. This is where you're aiming for if you throw that left elbow. All right, so create the angle when throwing them. Don't just go to throw and hit at the wrist or hit at the forearm. All right, guys, thanks for watching. There are a ton of variations and drills to make sure that you can master them. There's a link in the description below that'll take you to fighttips.com. Don't learn just as much as everyone else that watches this video. Do your research, study a little bit more, be ahead of the competition. All right, guys, until next time, be sure to subscribe to get the fight tips before your opponent does. I'm Shane with Fight Tips. Self-defense for the underdogs.